take that forward, artificial intelligence. The next session that we are getting for you, AI and us, crafting tomorrow today. This is going to be an insightful exploration of the relationship between artificial intelligence and humanity, focusing on how we can shape our future in tandem with this in the rapidly advancing technology as well.
Right, this session delves into the opportunities, the challenges, and most importantly, the ethical considerations surrounding AI integration into various aspects of our lives. It'll be led by David Hanson, the CEO of Hanson Robotics. It's a pioneering company in the field of AI and robotics, and this session promises to offer valuable insights into the potential impact of AI on society and how we can proactively steer its development towards a brighter future for us all. Please join me in welcoming David Hanson.
Thank you so much. I'm really happy to be here. Proud to be back after some years, COVID intervening. But the world of artificial intelligence has not slowed down, but continued to accelerate. I'll give you a little introduction to myself before I begin. I have a background developing AI and robotics for 30 years. I have an interest, a strong predilection towards the arts and humanities, as well as the biosciences and artificial intelligence and robots, and how all of these threads may weave together into a tapestry of a new humanity, a new human experience. AI and robots ultimately are about how we make life better for humanity, manage a future of life. These are themes that you'll hear me talk about today. I perhaps am best known for developing this robot, Sophia. Sophia is a social robot designed for natural facial expressions using machine perception to perceive people's motions and gestures, to make eye contact, to connect emotionally with people. This is an interface. This is merely a way of connecting our intelligent software with the world of humanity. Interfaces are one step forward, but what happens underneath is the ground truth that we're dealing with. And so I have some questions for you to start with. What is artificial intelligence? We throw this word around all the time. And, it's a little bit slippery. There are engineering definitions. There's the original definition from the Dartmouth Conference in 1956 when the term was coined by McCarthy when founding the field of artificial intelligence. So you have a lot of definitions out there. This one from Wikipedia is a pretty good one. Basically making machines that do things that are intelligent. Sounds like a tautology a little bit. Right? What is intelligence, right? So the field of computer science to make machines that solve problems, that understand the world, perhaps, to do things that seem intelligent. But I would propose that the way that organisms like human beings solve problems is based on information dynamics, the way that we process this. This is a mystery. I've studied neuroscience at King's College and at the University of Texas, where I got my PhD, University of Texas at Dallas. And so studying the biosciences of human mind and intelligence is very interesting. So there is a field that goes back actually about 50 years, but it was first named in 1986 by Christopher Langton, called artificial life, studying synthetic organisms, how we can create computer programs that simulate properties of life. But there are parallel disciplines called synthetic life, where you're engineering new forms of life, computational biology, digital organisms. So the prospect that we might be able to, at some point, scientifically understand, or at least plant the seeds for true living machines, is tantalizing and of profound impact on artificial intelligence. So I would propose to you that the future of artificial intelligence is inherently biological. It's biologically inspired from the beginning, And now we're starting to see more and more lifelike capabilities, spontaneous and emergent capabilities from our large foundation models. And we're starting to see tools, computing tools, authoring tools, that allow us to explore the domain of what it means to be alive and also see lifelike behaviors from artificial intelligence that were not possible for the last 50 years. And these have just begun to accelerate in the last few years. So the next question that I would have for you is, what defines a human? Okay, so are we defined by our DNA? Are we a separate thing from nature? Or are we part of the integrated web of life? Are we the matter that we walk around with, or are we something more? Are we just the DNA, the cells, the meat that we occupy, if you will? Is that all we are? Well, in physics, it's interesting that matter is actually just another form of energy, E equals mc squared. We are beings of light that are formulated into stardust that then take the form of humans. And light carries information. Information can't be created or destroyed, neither can energy. So, in other words, if all of this energy and all of this information began in the Big Bang, well, it's just manifesting as we're living our lives. So from a very first principles approach, you could say, perhaps, we are just this kind of special arrangement of information at this moment in history where the information interacts in human society. Our cells change. The individual molecules that make us up change. Ship of Theseus, we remain the same, even though every single part of us may change in some regard throughout the course of our lives. We are made of the information. And so, with a robot, I would ask you the question, is a robot merely a machine? And from an engineering definition, in a way it is. It's a thing made by a human that takes perceptual and sensory data in, processes it, and puts it out through a mechanical output. However, I think that that is something that life forms do, from a paramecium to a field mouse to a human being. We sense the world, we process this world, and we mechanically act on that world. So I think it's perhaps more fundamental and profound to consider that a robot is a kind of artificial life. But the life is in the information, not in the physical hardware. So the hardware gives you a mechanical interface to the world. So then, if we're made of information and our technology is also information, well, our technology, such as language, which we're all using here today to speak to each other, to connect nonverbal and verbal, the culture that we're in and the technology we play with are extensions of our biology. So in a way, the cognitive systems of artificial intelligence expand human intelligence, human consciousness in some ways. They're a window into the collective unconscious in some ways, but in other ways they're giving rise to new ways of seeing the world, new ways of solving problems. They're making humanity smarter. And so perhaps we are our technology. There's a continuum. Just as there's a continuum with the web of life, there's a continuum between the material living beings and the information technologies that we're creating. So what does this mean for our future? Well, one thing we know is that AI is going to get smarter. It's arriving. It has not arrived fully. New kinds of robotic interfaces, so robots are an interface to our AI. They have come into our homes in recent years and into our factories, and the factories that are making cars are smarter and smarter, and the cars are smarter and smarter themselves. And the car companies like Tesla are now making these super advances. So you see advances from small groups, startups, little labs, individuals who might be equipped with a smartphone coming up with new algorithms, and big companies who are setting their course now for solving what we call artificial general intelligence. And this means generalizing AI and generalizing robots like the Optimus robot to help the world. And I'm going to tell you about how we're working on that at Hanson Robotics with the Sophia utility platform. But you should check out this Optimus robot if you haven't. It's beautiful. And there are many other robots. Figure is another robotics company. And of course, Atlas from Boston Dynamics is absolutely beautiful. So there are many robot platforms out there, but it started many, many years ago. So the first robots arguably came out thousands of years ago, but they were named in the 20th century. Yubatech Walker, now these happened over the last few years. The Optimus is now coming out. Human-like robots have been around, like at the Hall of Presidents for Disney, but Amica is a very nice one. Hanson robots are a little bit different. The robots that I make are bringing together a lot of the humanities to try to humanize this interface, to create a more personal connection, to teach the AI what it means to be human, to try to understand us, and to explore what it means to be human as well. So we call this the Sophia Human Utility Platform. So humanoid, human-like robots are progressing very rapidly in the field. The question pops up often, why humanistic robots? We can make them look like anything. Well, we can make them look like anything, so we should diversify the robots, just as we are connecting with humans in a wide variety of applications and backgrounds. So that can help people better. It can help the AI to learn and grow among humans, to bond with people, to form a kind of relationship, to co-evolve with us, to grow up in the human family, if you will, if they become conscious, which is one of our big questions. How do we explore these mysteries of consciousness? In some ways, by trying, by building these things, by doing science on them, and also by tinkering, by exploring this bold frontier of techno-innovation and what it means to be alive. So this is through the figurative and narrative arts, as well as through the biosciences. So humanistic AI, I believe, equals a better future, because this means that it enhances potentially what is best in humans. We have to ask questions. What do we want to do? Well, we want to respect life, all humanity around the world. We want to be able to open up our minds and then be able to move past fear, be able to successfully navigate the straits of fear that keep us apart, that keep us from the potential of our human experience, that keep people down because we think it's us versus them. We want to give a hand to people to help them come up, to reach their potential. AI should do this, and I believe that humanizing AI and putting out these tools can really help do this. So in essence, human-like interactions are good for people. There's a lot of cognitive psychology and neuroscience that validate this. And making technologies that deliver a human-like experience, from DVDs to interactive fiction to children's books to fine arts to the latest in artificial intelligence, this can be good for people and train smarter AI. We're attracted to the human-like form, and sure enough, when we put our robots, our human-like robots, in the room with other robots, people do pay more attention to the human-like robots. For example, Sophia, who's in the background there, everybody's paying attention. Other robots, unfortunately, can be ignored in that situation. So the Sophia utility platform is not just about that artistic or character experience, but it's also a bold platform for innovating artificial intelligence and generalizing robotics. So it has nice looking facial expressions, but very capable hands and arms, and navigation and locomotion as well. It's not the first robot that I've made. I've actually made over 100 unique robot designs, all through my PhD. In fact, most of these designs are from my PhD studies. They include the Diego Son robot, that's the big baby robot in the front, that walking Albert Hubo robot in 2005, the Jules robot that looks like Sophia, but that's from 2006 for the University of Bristol. Cambridge University has one of my robots, the Vincena robot, you can see there, Zeno, etc., the Bina 48 robot. So diversifying robotics is one of our quests, but this requires a diversity of team as well. So we have a team that is about 50% women, and we have people from engineering, AI science, PhDs, also manufacturing engineers, but also designers and artists, animators, people who are helping to craft who these people are, the characters, and people from all around the world. So here's a little bit of the process. I sculpted Einstein in 2005 to make this portrait. I developed a special skin material that's extremely lightweight and low power and generates natural-looking facial expressions. Here is the result from that from 2005. And this was lightweight, low power, so it could mount on the Hubo robot from KAIST, Korean Advanced Institute of Science and Technology. And so you put these things together, eye cameras and various sensors, the perceptual software to see faces, to be able to understand speech and have conversations, and then you're able to do these kinds of full interactions, and we put all these things into a toolkit. We call it Hanson AI SDK, and there you have kinetic intelligence, the ability to walk around, the ability to understand people also, and to generate creative activities. We've done these generative algorithms for 20 years now, working with these robots. And then you put all of these things together in one platform, and we're able to do and facilitate research in machine consciousness and applications like autism development and so forth. So the motivated driven action selection workflow is bio-inspired, trying to imitate what happens inside humans and organisms when they're motivated to interact. We have open source projects called the Open Hands, Open Arms, Sophia's Open Arms to the World, which we published, and they have really great capabilities, and new open source walking legs that really are super. Dan LaFaro is one of our scientists working on that. So these have also been deployed in multiple applications, including autism, therapy studies, a Grace Healthcare robot that we've created, and then a robot CEO called Mika that we put out last year with a company called Dictador. And then we have all of these kinds of artworks. A small version of Sophia that we're planning to bring to market maybe this year, and a machine consciousness research project. The idea with Sophia, however, is that she's there as a platform, so we created this open app called Sophia's AI Lab where you could program her through a virtual Sophia. And we put together a nonprofit institution called the Global Artificial Intelligence Alliance, which won the World Economic Forum Accenture Ahura AI Award for Social Enterprise. This is about stitching and bridging communities that may be separated, governments and the people and corporations, to try to create a global AI democracy. So it's a nonpartisan organization. So this epic in history is potentially the moment where we can see machines become sentient. And that is our quest. And I think that humanizing the machines is a necessary thing. We have to realize that they may be a new branch on the tree of life. We may see the dawn of new ways of humans to be smarter as we unlock bioscience of what makes our minds work. So humanoid robots can be a way to bridge AI to the human experience. And I hope you will take this into consideration as you hear about all of the other advances and generative advances, and just realize the most profound, transformative, disruptive development that would help to diversify AI could be artificial general intelligence. But we need to all pull together around the world, around the globe, in order to make this AI very good, make it care about us. So I hope you'll come to me with any questions that you have, and I thank you very much for your time and attention.